Welcome, everyone. We are live today, Friday, 16th of June, 6 p.m. here in Chile, and we're going to connect with an special guest from California. Who I'm talking about? Let me introduce him. Oscar Wasabasa, Wabas, oh, sorry, forget. Nwabasili. He's going to correct me afterwards. It's a highly experienced professional with over 15 years of expertise in both the technical and business field. He has a track record of successfully innovating processes and developing new products and services to add value and improve efficiency. His previous work in process improvement and R&D has resulted in significant cost savings for companies. Currently, he's focused on developing new materials for catalysis in the base oil R&D space. Oscar is interested in management roles where he can utilize his technical, business, and data science background to solve challenging problems. He's a dedicated team player and continuously seeks opportunities for learning and career advancement. In addition to his professional accomplishment, Oscar has been involved in management roles in the Mickey Soccer Club, demonstrating his leadership and event planning skills. He's also the CEO and president of Sky Concepts Entertainment, where he oversees all aspects of the business operations, event planning, budgeting, procurement, and team management. With his diverse skill set and impressive background, Oscar is a valuable asset for any organization looking for a strategic and result oriented leader. Finally, do you have the courage to follow your dreams like Oscar, or will you be a dreamer forever? This channel will seek to find the truth through conversation, interviews, and constant search for wisdom so that we can all achieve our dreams. So let me welcome Oscar to the show right now. Oscar, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. And you?
Excellent, excellent. Oscar, again, how do you pronounce your last name? Sorry for that inconvenience on pronouncing it.
Yeah, it's pronounced as Nwabasili. So you can start with the
Nwabasili.
W. Nwabasili.
Nwabasili.
Yes.
Perfect. So Oscar, to get to know you better, what can you tell us about yourself in order to know more about you? Who are you? I'm probably taking not mentioning so much about your professional background, but more as who you are as a person.
My name is Oscar Nwabasili. I would say I am goal-driven individual, and I tend to like to improve things. I love creating new products and services. So I think that's my calling. Apart from that, also I do like to volunteer for charity organizations um, to help the less privileged and to help the community. So I'm naturally born as an industrialist. So I like creating new products. So that's who I am. Thank you.
Excellent. And Oscar, I understand that now you're located in California, but were you born and raised in California, or from where are you?
I'm originally from Nigeria. I was born in Nigeria. I grew up in Nigeria. I migrated to United States over 15 years ago, and I continue to expand my horizons coming down here. So yeah, so that's why I'm here.
Amazing. So can you tell us what's your story? Like, why did you decide to travel to the US? What was happening in your life? Can you like do some sort of a summary of everything?
Yeah, I think what happened was during the time I was in Nigeria, so my intention was to go to college and then study. And Eventually, I did. I went to school to study chemical engineering, and I graduated as a chemical engineer. And my mom lives in the United States, and then she filed for me to come here for better opportunity, and that's how I migrated coming to United States. So while I came to United States, I continued to expand my horizons. I continued to improve myself. I continued to challenge myself, and up to this moment. So that's the reason why I'm here. Thank you.
Excellent, amazing to hear that as well. That you have achieved a lot of things. Looking at your professional LinkedIn, obviously, and I would like to ask you a little bit about your daily life when you are not working. What do you like to do on your daily life?
When I'm not working, what I like to do is to exercise. I like to exercise a lot, and I play ping pong. I play soccer. I also do other indoor and outdoor activities. Apart from that, I like entertainment, and I like to also to have fun. I like to socialize, to engage with the people, engage with the community. I like to get to know different people, different background, how they think, what are their perspective, and so on and so forth. So that's some of the things that I do on my part time. Apart from reading, I read a lot. Yes, I read a lot of periodicals, and I read textbook, business books, and some technical journals, technical books I've been reading all my life. So the more you read, the more you gain knowledge. So that's why I have diverse knowledge in different things, both in science, in engineering, in data science, in business. So I'm kind of very diverse. So I can blend with people easily to have conversation. So sometimes when people engage conversation in business, then I start using business terms. They ask me, "How do you know this one?" So yeah, so that's what it is. I'm very diverse, and that's the way I want it to be. So it gives me opportunity to be able to do multiple things. Yeah.
Excellent. I agree with you in terms of what reading can give to you, what it can offer, and all of the abundance of information that you can obtain from books. Oscar, one of the questions that I have for you also is: did you knew from the beginning of your times that you were going to study chemical engineering, or at some moment of your life you were thinking about, I don't know, art, architecture, or anything else?
Yeah, what happened was when I was in primary school, before my father passed away. So I was, he was going through my report card after exams, and I think for him, he saw that I was really doing very well in science area and so on and so forth. And it happened that one of my brother is a civil engineer who is very successful in what he does. So he mentioned to me that it seems like I'm going to be the next engineer he will have. So I was very small. I have no idea what he was talking about, but that stick in my head that time. So while I was growing up, then I tried to figure out what do I need to do. Which direction should I go? Do I go into business, or do I focus on science or in engineering? I made up my mind during my SS3, the way they describe that in Nigeria. In United States, they call it high school senior. So I decided I'm going to study engineering. So the question is, what part of engineering am I going to study? So I looked at it. My brother is already a civil engineer, and I said electrical engineer, mechanical engineer. I chose chemical engineer. So while I chose chemical engineering, I decided to focus more on chemistry. So I was really very good in chemistry. So some chemistry exams I used to do very, very, extremely, very, very well. So once I see the questions, I know the answer right away. I just check it. So at that time, I think that's my calling. And I decided to focus more on chemical engineering. I applied for college for chemical engineering. I was accepted to at the University of Lagos, which is one of the number one top university in Africa. So I studied chemical engineering. From there, I graduated before I migrated here. And interesting is during the time I was studying as a chemical engineer, my research projects I had one of them was crude oil characterization. So that's when I started
What,
developing interest.
what is that? What is that?
Crude oil characterization is kind of quantifying the assay of crude oil to know the characteristics of the crude oil. So, which gave me idea that most likely I'm going to work in oil and gas company. So my intent there was which company would that be? And I think on one of my project book actually wrote it there. So number one company that I wanted to work while I was in Nigeria was to work with Chevron. It's still on my project book. And eventually I got here and I didn't start working with oil and gas right away. I started doing other jobs. I worked from FedEx, I worked from Targets, and so on and so forth, trying to because I have no job history, and so that's how my story started. So we'll get to it in a moment.
Amazing,
Yes.
amazing. Can I ask you what is the thing that you like about chemistry that you're so passionate about it? What would you say that it what is it like? What happened to you when you do all of the things you do with chemistry?
The way chemistry is I know a lot of some people don't like chemistry. Even when they hear about chemistry, they just don't want to do it. But once you understand the background behind the chemistry, it's actually very easy. So understanding what is element, molecules, atoms, and so on and so forth. How do you move this electron within one molecule or another? So how do you know the chains of chemical bonds? So once you know, for example, you know all the IUPAC nomenclatures, and you know how these chemistries are formed. It's going to be like that. It doesn't change. For example, if you mix A and if you want to form water, it's the same chemistry that you use to create water. So
Hmm.
also with A, if you want to purify A, you remove nitrogen, you remove other inert gas, and for you to have oxygen. So it's just the same. It doesn't change. So once you have those information, have those background, be willing to sacrifice, study hard, making sure you understand, the difference between each particular element, each particular compound, and how they form, then you're gonna do very well. So at some point, I think when I was in my year three, I then fell in love with aspect of chemistry, which is some aspect that involve thermodynamics. So thermodynamics is also in chemical engineering. We also have classes that are also thermodynamics. So they blended very well. So it was very easy for me to do some of those courses at that point in time because you see the same thing over and over and over and over. So that was my interest, and chemistry has a lot of application. So many application in everything that you do, whether it's telephone, books, and all of that. There is aspect of chemistry that is involved for you to have any molecule or any material. There is chemistry involved. So it's something that is not gonna go away anytime soon.
Hmm. And what if you, for example, won $100 million? Would you still be doing things related to chemistry, or would you do a different kind of thing?
If I have up to 100 million, I would definitely move more into developing my own product line. in
Okay.
aspect of probably maybe in healthcare, or maybe any other equivalent technology that may come up as we go. So I would definitely will invest in industrialization. I like industrialization. Yes.
Excellent. So, what advice would you give to your younger self?
The advice I would give my younger self is to continue to improve myself, continue to learn. So nobody knows everything. So you just keep learning. You learn from people, people learn from you. Be vulnerable, be open, be able to ask questions. Sometimes people are scared to ask questions. They felt
Mm.
like they will make a mistake. If you make a mistake, who cares? If you make a mistake, you learn from it, and then you improve yourself as you go. So that's for my young self. That's where I look at it. It's just being intentional about what you want to do. Be proactive, and before you do anything, always do a research. Do a research of whatever it is that you want to do, so that you have an informed information for you to make an informed decision. So
Mm.
that's what I would advise my younger self to do.
Excellent. Oscar, what would you say are the highlights of your job and what would you say are the lowlights?
For the highlights of my jobs across different companies that I've worked, I'm very lucky that in biomedical field was involved in developing a very novel product that I used for continuous glucose monitoring system from beginning to the time of um, developments, from developments to marketing, marketing to getting the product approved by FDA, and currently is in the market circulating, and people using that to test their blood sugar level to see how they are performing. So that's one of the highlights of my career. Then another one is another company that I work. I think it was a DSM Biomedical. I was able to improve one of their existing system. To make that system more better than what it is and more efficient. And
Mhm.
instead of them every single time going to buy compressed air, from the third party supplying on a daily basis. So I was able to do some processes and improve existing process they have, and we're able to do a lot of testing. And then we found out that the compressed air we're using is actually better than the one we are buying from outside. So which continuously saving them the company money at this point in time. So whenever people
Mm.
see that, they will always remember, oh, there was a Nigerian guy that works here. He came up with this idea. So it's two products that are there. Everywhere that I go, I try to create something that eventually, when I'm not there, people will talk about it. So,
Mm.
so those are part of my accomplishment. And then in oil and gas industry, I would say with the team, I have a very amazing team that I work with. I'm lucky that we were able to successfully commercialize some of some technologies that I use in base oil isodewaxing space. So I'm very lucky, having some of those achievements. Thank you.
So, now that you mentioned oil, can you share about your experience in the base oil R&D space? What have you done? What are your, I don't know, what can you tell us about oil in general?
Or in general, I will summarize it. Maybe I'll focus the area that I work, and then
Okay.
some of the work that we do is research and development, and most of them are highly proprietary. So there are certain things that I'm not going to discuss, but I will tell you that in that space, what we do is to understand what is the customer's need. For example, different refineries around the world. What are the areas they have challenges in isodewaxing? What is their expectation? What do they need to improve for them to get a better result, get a better yield? So we have to figure out, okay, what is the next type of material they need? For example, zeolite So we have to come up with different formulation on how to achieve to get them exactly what they want. So doing those formulation process, synthesizing those products, processing those products, and then use those products to convert them into catalysts for them to be able to use them for the iso waxing that help uh, that helps to give them a good conversion, also improve their yield, and at the same time create more efficiency in what they do and the activity as well. So those are some of the highlights. The aspect, the area that I focused on. That's what we do, trying to find a newer material that is more active, that's better than the one that is existing. So every changes or every performance that you receive in some of those technology is actually uh, you know, give you a lot of advantage in terms of value that you generate for the company, in terms of the money, the financial reward the company will make by having those technology. So those are the area that I would say that I'm involved. So I wouldn't talk
Mm.
generally in other aspects because our company is very diverse. It's very big. So people are in different area researching on different aspects. So my job is to focus on finding a new material, creating a new material, commercializing a new material for industrial application in zeolite space. The zeolite is what is used to make some catalyst, and then catalyst is what is used for the iso waxing and some other application as well.
And how long does it take that entire process from the research, the development, and then commercialize? Is it years? Is 1 year? What's the length of time on
It,
that process?
it depends on the type of technology that you're interested. There's some that could last up to 10 years. There's some that could last maybe 2 years. So the only reason why some of our newer development is more faster is because we already identify how to make it.
Mm.
So then improving on what is already made, it helps you to make it even faster. So those ones probably would take, if everything goes well, I would say between 2 to 5 years. You should be
Wow.
able to commercialize some of those products. There's a lot involved in commercialization. There's a lot of financial money is involved. You have to really be sure what you're doing and be sure
Mm.
about what the customers are going to get out of this before you actually talk about going for commercialization. So that's in general how it is. There are some technology that takes over 20 years, but it never come to existence. So that's how
Wow.
it is. That's what research and development is. You just keep trying new things. Just continue trying new things until you're able to have answers to some of your challenging questions.
Oh, that's a very very long time, and I do believe that the team involved also needs to be like in the project for those amounts of years with the company. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, like thinking on whenever you hire someone, you need to be very sure that that people is going to stay on that team. I believe it must be really hard.
Yeah, actually, that's how it is. So, it's one of the things in the job. So, especially in the area that we work, we don't hire like just hiring. So it takes a long process to bring in a
Mm.
candidate because they know what is involved. Once a candidate comes in, is he going to be able to, or is she going to be able to blend with the system? Is he adaptable? Will he be able to manage the pressure? Will he be able to stay long to learn how these things is done? Because it doesn't, no success comes overnight. It takes a while. So you have some people who have 40 years experience in the field doing the same thing over and over and over for 20 years, and then you just started like a year, you'll be wondering, am I gonna be here in the next 30 years? So, but at the end, you realize that actually you're already at your 10 years already without knowing.
Whoa.
So once you understand what you're doing and then you like what you're doing, you have
Mm.
a very good, diverse, nice team, then you will like to stay and continue to do the best you can.
Yeah, I probably there you mentioned the most important thing, that you need to like and probably love what you do to stay
Yes,
so much time doing something, because if you don't love it, I mean, why do it? Um,
that's correct.
next question, next question that I have for you, Oscar, is what are some of the most significant process improvements or innovations you have implemented throughout your career?
So many of them. I will describe like some of the two that I just mentioned. One of them is nitrogen generation system. That I that was deployed in my previous employer, and then the other one is compressed air generation system that they are currently in use, and then for currently, I would say in zeolite space we have existing very good quality catalyst that is in the market that is better than any other catalyst out there. So the catalysts perform way more better than our competitors. So those are the achievements that it's not something one person does. It's a group work. And once the team able to come up with a concept, are able to solve some of these challenging problems, and then you keep those, and those technology will stay here for a long time unless something better comes up. But we don't fold our hand waiting until the next better thing comes up. Otherwise, we have some other technology we are working on or we have developed, and then we keep in the pipeline in case if it's needed. At some point, when there are complaints about the recent ones and they want something better than that, then we should be able to actively introduce a new one without wasting time. That's what R&D is. Otherwise, if you just sit down thinking the one you have is better, nobody will have a better one than the one you have. You don't know what's going to come out tomorrow. Technology changing so fast, so quickly. So you have
Mhm.
to be able to be adaptable. You have to be able to move fast with the way technology changes.
So, related to those two projects that you mentioned, nitrogen, did you say nitrogen? Nitrogen?
Yeah, nitrogen generation system.
Nitrogen
Yeah,
and the other
compressed
one,
air, compressed
yes,
air generation system.
compressor.
Yeah.
So when you are developing this kind of technology, and do you somehow test, or how do you know that this kind of technology will contribute to cost savings or efficiency gains? How do you prove that actually this technology will be better than the one that you have nowadays, for example?
Yeah, you have to do. I will summarize that in two aspects. For example, in process improvements, you have to do a lot of rigorous tests. It's the test that gives you those information you're looking for. If you have a test, for example, you run several tests using your technology after it was made, and you're able to quantify the output you are getting is much better based on the research, based on the data, based on the different testing that have conducted. So that gives you idea from a small scale that this product is actually will add value to the process. And once that is done, and then you have to repeat that process over and over and over to make sure there is a repeatability and it's consistent and the results are consistent. If
Mm.
those informations are not there, then it means there is an issue. So It could be an issue with the design, or it could be an issue with the processes, and so on and so forth. So once you're able to identify some of those results, the performance are consistent, it's giving you a better result. Then you start scaling up. So let's say, for example, the first process, let's say maybe about let me use about 200-gram material. So then you can say, okay, we have tried it on 200-gram material. Let's try 1,000, maybe 1 kilogram, which is equivalent to 1,000 grams. So you try it, and then you see the result. The result is consistent, and you're getting all your essays, all your XID patterns, and some of the SEM results are consistent. Then you know that, okay, this product is going to be able to do this because of the consistency. Then you go further again and then try to do it in a more larger form. At that point, you're beginning to think about commercialization. How do I deploy this to a bigger manufacturing equipment for it to function? So you still have to do all those. Look at the formulations, you look at the preparations, and make some adjustments that are needed. And then we do all the testing. If the testing doesn't work, then you go back again and continue until it works. Once it works, you're getting that result consistent. Your output is great. You're adding more value. You're getting, let's say, for example, the yield before was around, for the current one they are doing, they're getting like 97%. And then you completed your own research and development, and your new technology is giving you about 99% and guaranteeing 99%. So that tells you that you have something better. And then once you do the commercialization, everything is fine. Then you just deploy it. So that's how one of the
Perfect.
ways of doing that. So it's all driven by data. You have to be able to understand what you're looking for, understand the characteristics you're looking for, and see if that technology is giving you those functions that you're looking. Once they are doing that, then you should be able to get it done. Then I would say for other one, I would say for nitrogen generation system, and then for the compressed air. So the the way I was able to get that project completed was we had to test the company bringing those those uh, those those compressed air. We did all the testing. We have the results, and then we look at the one that we have in house. We ran them, change the filters, and do all of that. We did the test. We realized that actually this one is giving you maybe 96% purity, and then you have another one giving you 99% purity. Which one is better? Then we realized that actually the one we have is much better. So why are we wasting all this money, all this time? These people coming here every morning, bringing this, unloading and loading every single time. So we told them, I think we give them some time. After that, they expired. They are not allowed to continue to bring it because we have something in place currently that generating that. So that's one of the ways to do that.
Very well explained. I understand it perfectly. Last questions towards that is the audit performance of or the testing that you mentioned is always done internally, or you hire like or outsource a different company that test and verify that everything is under, I don't know, ISOs or all of that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
procedures.
we do. There are some testing that are done internally with the different groups, the different organizations. So their job is to test and then send you a result. And then your job is to analyze the result and look at the result and see if the characteristics you're looking for, whether they are there or is it acceptable. And there are some testing that you actually have to use outside vendor to do that. You send samples out for testing, and once they're done, they send the result back to you. So you look at the result, and then if the result is good, and then you just continue working. And sometimes you can also do, if you have any doubt or whatever it is, you could send the same sample. But you can send the same sample to into this area, and then also to third party, and for you to be able to say, okay, is there any similarity in the result? So
Okay.
sometimes you don't want to tell them that you do that. So, but sometimes it's necessary to do
But
that,
you have to, just in case.
just in case, just to make sure. You know, So once you're able to get those results, and then the result you are looking for is acceptable, is exactly what you want, and then you just have to go with it.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Oscar, I know that you have a lot of experience in technical business, data science background. Um, how can you uh, put all that on a what is the name of for the thing that you like a mixer? How do you implement all of your
Combine.
what?
Is it combined?
Yeah, combined, but when you put all of the ingredients in this machine that mix all of the ingredients. Well, what is the name
Oh,
for that?
that's a reactor.
A reactor?
Is it a reactor?
I don't know how to pronounce it in English. Like when you
Okay.
mix all of your fruits on a specific machine. I forgot the name.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I know what you're saying. Blender?
A
Is it
blender
blend?
machine.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to blend the whole thing together. That's
How do
science
you
right there. That's science.
how do you use all of that knowledge and how do you believe that all of different kind of knowledges have helped you in order to achieve your daily routine, your work, and all of the things that you are doing nowadays?
Yeah, when you look at it, having a business background and then having technology background, science, and data science. So when you look at the whole thing, they all go hand in hand, you know. So let's say, for example, somebody tells you that, okay, we need this technology, and then this is what we expect this technology would do. So in a business aspect, you have to think about, okay, this technology, what is the drive? How do I get people? How do I build a team? How do I work with the people to make this product work? So having those thinking, using your business background helps a lot, because the way you communicate with people, in a business way is a little different. And also, in your business background, that is how you talk to people, that's how you work with people to get the best from them. So it's a skill set that not everybody, some people have it naturally, but some people go to school to acquire those knowledge. Because what happened is a lot of people tend to think once you do MBA or you do business degrees, and everything you talk about is money. It's always about money or moving money around. No, no, no. There's so many things about quality of a product. How do you maintain a quality of a product? You discuss that in business. How do you create a team that will build this technology? Because you can't do it alone. You have to work with a team. And then you use your data science to do your research. Use After doing the research, analyze the data that you have, get some insights from the data that you're using. It's better than doing that way than just doing assumptions, because that's like in the olden days. That's what people assume so many things, and that's why some technology after it's done they just fail. But using this background, data science, to be able to have insight, to be able to analyze data and grab information, those information, if for example you have a data pool, and then you look at the data, you wanted to see, okay, how many customers, based on this data that I have, how many customers who would like to have this product, and then you do your programming, and then you give you the numbers, then okay, from this number, maybe about 100 of our customers will want this product, maybe 20 wouldn't want it. So 20 to 100, that's about 80%. So then you say, okay, it's something that you think will be achievable, and let's give it a try. So that's the form of data science. There are so many things you learn from data science, not only about creating models to analyze data, or to having that data to look in a better way, that when people visualize that, they should be able to make an informed decision, than having data all over the place and then people are confused. So you use that information too when you're working. Sometimes you use it directly, sometimes you use it indirectly without you knowing. So that's how some of these things come. Then in technology aspect, you have to understand what you want to do, what is the market want. So what are the components that are involved to make this product? How do we mix these things? How do we generate the formulation that we use, or preparation that we use? At what condition should we run this? How many times can we try this condition and see if we can generate the same result, or maybe a variable result? We don't know. So once you
And
combine them together, you should be able to have a better information.
and Oscar, with what knowledge are you currently or always thinking? Because you mentioned there that sometimes it's science, technology, but which one is like the primordial, like the one that always pop ups first?
The one that pop up first is I would say technology, engineering.
Technology. Okay,
Yeah,
engineering. Perfect.
engineering. For
Excellent.
example, you are running. Let's say you have a product that is running, and then you're having some issue, and they have to troubleshoot. You have to figure out what is driving this problem. So you have to think outside the box,
Mm.
to figure out how to solve that problem. That's technology is one of the most things that you always use, to create a new product.
Okay, Oscar. Now I want to talk about Sky Concepts Entertainment. Can you tell us what is that? Uh, how and when did it start, and why did it start?
Yeah, Sky Concept Entertainment. What actually happened was I attended an event in California. I think it was in Oakland. So it's something that I haven't seen before. So there was a talent, like an artist that come from Nigeria to perform, and then we paid money to go and see him. So I was like, oh, I want to go see this artist that I'm paying money. So that's interesting. So after going to that event, I said, okay. There was another event they organized, and then I started looking for who put this event together. I need to know what is the concept. You know, why does he want to do this? So immediately I was able to find who the person is. I told the person, look, I like what you guys are doing. This is not my area of work, but if by any chance you needed some fund to do this business, I'm willing to give you some money. But I need my money to be returned and some profit. So that's how I came into Sky Concept. So what we did was that individual started an event, and then I gave them some fund to set up that event, and then we did that event. Event didn't come out the way I expected it would be, and then he was planning another one. I told him, how do you know this second one will be successful? So why don't you look into the one you did already and figure out what really went wrong for you to see how you can improve on that to do a better one. So he was adamant of doing it that way. So he just wanted to create another event, and promote it and so on and so forth. So I told him that I don't think I'll be putting money out and then, losing money that way. Then I made a suggestion to him. I like what you're doing, but I think you may have your own different way of working, but I don't think it's gonna work for me. So what I think we can do is we can work um, in collaboration. So I will create my own company. I run it the way I want. You create your own company and run it the way you want. So if we need to do an event, we can come together and combine the event so that we bring individual talent to do the event. So then I went ahead, I went to the city and then started brainstorming what is the name of my company would be. I try London see I try so many things and then everything that always coming to my mind is conceptualization. Concept, just keep coming, just keep coming. I say, how about sky concept? Then sky concept is kind of when you mention that people get thrown off. They don't understand it. What does this mean? It's something abstractive. And that's what drew my attention. I like that. Sky concept. So I went to the city and then registered it and then named it Sky Concept Entertainment. So that's how Sky Concept Entertainment started. And then as we go on, then I can talk more as to where we are today, what we have done, and so on and so forth.
And what year did you mention that this started?
It started, I think, around 2012, I guess. I think it's around 2012. So that's when I started
Okay.
doing Sky Concept. But then I was not doing a lot of events. I do events from time to time. And then because I have full-time job that I need to do. So
Yeah, of
I
course.
try not to let it burn me out.
So what kind of services, events do you offer?
The kind of services event that we do is Sky Concept is an event organization, promotion and management company. So we do mostly. I started with Afrobeat events, and then from there I started doing R&B, and then from R&B then I started throwing parties. Then I don't, even up to today I don't intend to like to throw parties. I like to throw like a live entertainment. People come and artists perform, and then everybody go home. So within 2 hours or 3 hours, everything is done. Everybody's leaving. But for club events, you have to stay there for maybe 4 to 5 hours. So Afrobeat, R&B, from there R&B, and from there, so once in a while, I do a little bit of rap and then a little bit of comedy, fashion show, and so on and so forth. So that's how I started changing. Why I started with Afrobeat because it's my core base. I'm from Nigeria, and Afrobeat is from Africa. It's from Nigeria. It originated from Nigeria, and then we
Mm.
have some immigrants and some Nigerians that live in the area. So it's not something they see everywhere. So once they see there's an event, someone is joining, and then they will come out and support. So that was my niche, and then I
And,
really focused on that niche.
and would you say that the differentiation that you have with other competitors is the use of artists from Nigeria specifically,
Yes,
or yeah?
exactly. That's my differentiator is using artists from Nigeria or from Africa because we understand, we know our geography better than other people that are outside. So I know the locations where my people stay. So when I have that event, I should be able to go here and there to promote it for them to see. So that was my differentiation in that aspect, and also it's also my niche. And
Okay.
most international audience before Afrobeat becomes what it is today. So we made Afrobeat what it is. We did a lot of shows. We were able to continue bringing these artists to come here to perform over and over and over and over. But right now, everybody's playing Afrobeat. You hear about Burna Boy, Whiskey, Flavor, Keith Daniel, and so on and so forth. So it was the foundation that we laid is what they are enjoying today.
Oscar, can you share any significant milestones or achievements since the beginning of the company?
There's a lot of I would say the achievements, or I would say in terms of popularity, number one. Number two is there's some certain things that if I need, like people call me, they want to do events or they're looking for venues and all of that. So I have all those contacts. I have worked with different people, different venues, different locations. So I can make one free phone call and things happen so quickly. And I don't really
Just like
also
that.
just like that, and they just do it. It's because of the relationship. I've done business with them, no problem. And also, that gives me opportunity to also utilize. Sometimes I use radio station to promote my events. Sometimes I use television station, and social media, and sometimes e-blast, sending e-blast as well to promote events. So those are the
Wow.
add-ons, some of the gains that I have gotten on that. And then most recently, on June 30th, 2023, so that's about, I think, almost 3 weeks ago. So my company was approved and accepted for a trademark. So Sky Concept Entertainment is now fully trademarked. So we got two trademark on Sky Concept.
Wow,
Both our
congratulations on
services
that.
and products. Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
In Oscar, what would you say in terms of a strategy, um, when you are planning an event? How do you ensure that the experience for the clients is memorable for them and all of the attendees of the event?
The way it's done in the planning stage. The planning stage is you have to do your homework, research. You have to benchmark. You have to look around your area, scan the market, look at what other people are doing. What do they have? What are the days events? People don't like, when you say that, people don't like to hear that, but it's actually important. So you don't want to have event in a date that is too competitive. So when you're able to have those information, these events are here, this one is over there, this is who is doing it, these are the type of events they have. Then you can figure out, okay, which audience do I need to target for me to have my events based on those information that you have. Then you can decide to say, okay, I will do this event. Maybe they have so many events in one location, maybe Oakland, maybe in San Francisco. I may decide and say, okay, let me focus in Berkeley. So nobody's coming to the Berkeley. So I'll focus in Berkeley and then create an event that will be attractable to people that will come for that event in that location. And then I have to also look at the population of people that live within those in those areas. Those people like what I'm trying to do. So if they really like it, you put it out, they'll respond. So by that time, you already done your homework.
So we would say that everything is in the planning of the event, like previously, and that will be like the success for the specific
Yeah,
event that you are
yeah.
promoting.
It's
Okay.
planning. Planning is the key for a successful event. It's not only about promotion. It's the planning aspect. You can promote all you want. You can put a lot of money on ad or TV or whatever, but nobody comes because
Yeah.
you didn't take into consideration there are other people that also have events. Let's say, for example, somebody in this location is doing an event that involve who is the hottest artist right now. I would say Little Baby. He's performing in Oakland this weekend, and now you want to book another artist who is less popular than Little Baby in the same area. It's not gonna work. Everybody will go to where the attraction is.
Mm.
So that's part of the things you do in your planning. So how do I execute this event? How do I make this event a success? How much do I need to spend? How do I spend? Do I spend more on social media or do I spend more on TV, on radio station? Or do I actually pay artists more to promote it themselves? Because Live Nation does that now. You see a lot of artists now, you see them sponsoring their page on social media. So they realize that if artists promote their events, it helps to sell better. I will give you also another instance. Michael Jackson, before Michael Jackson do announce his event, that event they must have been planning that event for maybe like in 3 months in advance about the tour that is about to go. And there nobody will know. But immediately he just announced it. Within a couple of minutes, the whole ticket is sold out quickly. just like that.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
that's the planning is very important. The planning is what will help you to have a successful event, and you also have to be willing to know when to stop. You know, if you see an event is not going the direction that you need it, sometimes you have to put a plug. It's hard to do because some people are ashamed. They don't want to hear, oh, they canceled their event. So you don't
Mm.
want to just put a lot of money out there and then you lose all the money. So you rather cancel it and save some money
Of
for another day. Yeah.
of course. Oscar, would you like to invite everyone to follow the company? What are the social medias of Sky Concepts Entertainment?
This social media is Sky. My website is skyconceptentertainment.com. That's my website,
Uh,
skyconceptentertainment.com.
Here I
Then
have it, I believe.
yeah, for Twitter, for IG, for TikTok is Sky Concept. Just Sky Concept.
Skyconceptentertainment.com. Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
So who can book you?
Right now we started opening to other people to go to our site, and if they need us to book to help them to organize their event or help them to plan out their events, then we do that. Apart from that, in around I would say around September, before the end of the year, I'll start going on a tour to talk about business because that's another area that I have a strong background. So I'll be touring different venues to talk about business, which people will pay to come and listen. So it's one of the things that I'll be doing. And secondly, I'm writing a book that will be out by next 2024. So that book will most likely will be followed with a documentary. So my life and my influence, with my father's influence in my life, and what I'm doing today, how I get to where I am, and where I expect to go in the nearest future. So having a
Wow.
background in science as a chemical engineer, have my MBA, and I did some leadership and management program with Harvard Business School and doing my data science and all of that. So I want to be able to not only gaining some of this educational background for me to also be able to use it for the common goods of the people, generate product for the community, help the community as well, the less privileged, help them to succeed. Mentor younger ones. I like mentoring. I volunteer at well. Even tomorrow on Saturday, I'll be volunteering in Richmond. So
Nice.
that's the package of who I am.
That's amazing, Oscar. A lot of amazing things that we are hearing. I want to move to our next topic that it's called trigger questions.
Yeah.
Um, Trigger questions. It's in Spanish, but in English it's trigger questions or
Yeah.
ping pong questions. So I have 5 questions for you. The idea is
Okay.
that you answer very shortly,
Yeah.
not so long because we can be here for long hours, not the
Yeah.
idea. So the first question for you, Oscar, is: can you please tell us something that no one knows about you?
Something I would say no one knows about me is a lot of people don't know that I'm very generous. I'm very, very generous. Yeah, I like to help. I think it's something that I inherited from the family, especially from my mom. My mother likes to give. We're always giving. No matter how small you have, you always give. So a lot of people don't know that. So I would say that's something they don't know. And another one would be, for example, people that I work with in a technology space, and they don't know that I actually do entertainment. Then people that are in entertainment does not know that I have a
The-
background in technology.
the-
So when I start saying some certain things, they get confused. Who
if
is
if
this
if they
person?
if they know that, do you believe that they are not going to take you so seriously when you are
Yeah, they
doing your
would. They
job?
say, "Oh, that party guy. Oh, he's always party. Does he know what he's doing?" So, because they
That's
don't
funny.
know, so they don't know.
Yeah. Alrighty. So number 2, Oscar, what do you want to accomplish in life?
I want to be remembered as an industrialist. that comes to this world for the betterment of the people, to create a viable, good product that help improve lives of the people, provide services that will help to make things easier and better and more efficient, and also to be someone people will say tomorrow that he came here and then he touched so many lives. Once I'm able to help someone, that gives me a joy, that gives me my drive, that gives me my drive to move forward and doing what I do. So those are the things that I would like to be remembered. Maybe in future, as time goes on, eventually I will run for a position in a political space. Most likely, maybe a mayor, maybe a governor of California. So I don't know yet, but I'm still brainstorming on stuff. So those are the things that I would like people to remember me as. The person that comes to this world and contributed to the earth for the betterment of the people. Thank you.
Perfect. Number 3, Oscar, what has been your biggest mistake made to date?
My biggest mistake, I would say, is when I started doing the entertainment, when I formed my own company.
Yeah.
So it's I didn't go through the training process to understand that, that when I have some losses when I started. So if I had maybe worked
Like
with
monetary
somebody,
losses?
yeah, losses like when you do event, it wasn't too successful, then you lose some money. For if I was able to work with people who are already doing that, learn from them, and then before I branch out and do my own, that would have helped me a long way. And then another one would be for me to continue to, for example, in my career field direction that I want to go now is to go into leadership positions. So it's something that I'm inherently have. I lead different organizations, both non-profit and both in the church, Mickey Soccer, my Sky Concept in entertainment company. So I have that leadership and management skills. So now the question now is, I would say I would have maybe diverted more into going into management. So those would be my regret. But there's still time, so I'm still
It's never too
improving
late,
that.
my friend.
Yeah. Okay.
It's never too late. Oscar, number 4. What person from the business world do you admire and why?
Okay, I would say I think Bill Gates. I admire Bill Gates for him to come up with Microsoft. Microsoft is still being used all over the world today. And then another person would be, I would say my father. My father is also, I think my father should have been number one. My father was very influential, and he had like three different things running at the same time. He was a president of a customer court as a lawyer, and then also he was successful in business, and he also successful in agriculture. So before his
Oh,
passing, so another one would be Mick Migman, the owner of WWE. So so I learned a lot from him, the way he handles. Sometimes you see, if you watch WWE, if you watch wrestling, you see there's a lot of things you will learn from him. How he makes decisions. Sometimes he makes a very tough decision. After a while, you realize why he makes those decisions the way actually correct. Why he makes those decisions. So those are the people that I would say that are influencing
but
a lot.
your last choice was quite interesting. Like first time that someone mentioned me, a person from the WWE.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Oscar, last question for you, my friend, is when you are no longer on this earth, probably you already answered this.
Yeah.
How would you like to be remembered? We, if not, if you believe that you already answered this one, I can change the question and said to you right now, like, what is your
I can
Your
still answer it.
most you want to answer it?
Sure.
Oh, okay, okay, great.
Yeah, I would say what I like to be remembered. Yeah, I want people to remember me as someone who comes to this world to make this world a better place. Someone who comes as an industrialist to provide product and technology that improve people's health and life. Yes. And someone who comes to help less privileged people to
Mm.
gain their self, help less privileged people to help them in aspects of their work and what they do, and someone who likes to mentor younger people. So those are the things that I would like to be remembered.
Excellent. I'm still going to add another question that
Sure,
is,
I'm here.
um, Oscar, what is your favorite conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy theory. I would say, which one would that be? It wouldn't be my favorite, but it's something that during the COVID, I was kind of having a lot of back and forth discussion with people. Some people said, "Oh, COVID was caused by 5G network. 5G network is causing, causing the COVID," which doesn't make
Mm.
any sense. So I don't know
Mhm.
who come up with that idea. And then there's some other theories. I know sometimes people say the world is round. I think that would be my favorite. The world is round. So nobody has actually proven that whether it's round or square or it's fair and all of that. It hasn't been proven beyond reasonable doubt.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Um, Oscar, we are arriving at the end of the show, and the last thing that we have is bonus track. And in the bonus track section, we
Yes.
ask our guests that they can share with all of the community general recommendations of books, movies, series, podcasts, or anything that you would like to share with us.
I would say my recommendation would be I would recommend people to read books in business, read periodicals, read, for example, if somebody who is successful writes a book, it's interesting to go and read that book. So you will learn a lot because success. People think
Mm.
success comes overnight. So when
So,
you read those,
like a biography, you say?
yeah, like a biography, yeah. So on inside the biography, they tell you how their struggles, their challenges before they had their breakthrough. So I would recommend people to read those. Read books in business. Read books in the economy, also in sustainable energy. It will be
Yeah.
something people would like to read. There's the book that I also read. I think it was about the person that started Peat Coffee. So those kind of books, if you go to Peat Coffee, you will see that they have a book there. You can grab it and read. So you learn a lot. But the more you read, the more you learn.
And what is your favorite book? Like the name of the book and the author.
The name of the book, there is one particular I think something Genius Among Us. I don't remember the name of the author. Genius Among
Genius
Us.
Among Us. Okay.
Yeah, there's one book like that. So I think I have it at home. I always once in a while I go and read it. So when you read it, you learn a lot about how to think creatively. How to think different.
Is 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 it a book of David Ritchie?
Yeah, I don't
Could
remember
it?
the name. It probably will be that. It probably
Okay,
will be
okay.
that. I remember the name.
And Oscar, what
I'm
is your
not
favorite movie?
movie. I would say Wakanda Forever, and I'm not into movie too much. Movie and well, I read business books and technology books, periodicals. That's things that I enjoy reading. Then for movie, I think Wakanda Forever is a good book. And then another
A
is a
good
good
movie.
movie. Sorry, a good movie. Yes, sorry. And another one would be you know, there's so many. I don't like movies that are too suspense or some movies that are too much action. So I
Okay.
rather watch drama. I like drama. I like to watch dramas. So I don't know why.
Uh,
Interestingly, that's something that when I was I am that was a program conducted at Harvard Business School. So they were discussing about there's a data about people's background and their
uh-huh.
hobbies, what they like to do. So actually, they on the top were like the engineers like drama series. So I was like, okay, maybe that's the issue right there, because that's something that I like. It makes me happy.
Yeah,
I don't want to be cracking my brain to figure out how somebody can jump from 200-story building to the ground floor. I don't care about
Yeah,
that.
probably that's because an engineer likes to solve problems, and in
Yes.
drama, you need to solve what is happening on the actual screen.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Oscar, the last thing, and with this we close the chapter of today, is what message can you share to humankind? What would you say to them? This is something that is going to be recorded in first screen. You're going to be like the only person talking. This is going to be to your entire family, to your family in Nigeria, and all of your coworkers and everyone. What do you have to say, my friend?
I would say I would want people to be kind, respectful, and be intentional in everything that you want to do. Also, always do your research in everything that you do. Don't always believe everything. Go and research, research, research. Read and learn. Learn from mistakes, and nobody's above mistake. If you make a mistake, you find a way to correct yourself, improve yourself, and then move on. So life is too short. So I would like people to be kind, to be generous, and be intentional in what they do. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me today.
Excellent show, Oscar Nawabasas. Nawabas. I can't pronounce
Silly.
your last name.
That's correct.
Nawabasasili.
Yes, that's very, very correct. And I like the show. Sin excusas, which is no damn excuse. So go
No
out
damn
there and change
excuses
the
to
world.
everyone.
Yeah.
It
Go
was a
out.
pleasure, Oscar, to have you. I really enjoyed the conversation and all of the things that you have done. Your story, it's amazing, from Nigeria to United States, and now
Thank you.
doing something that actually you like, you love, and sharing your message now with writing a book. Amazing story. So thank you very much for being here today, and all of you that probably someday, and the ones that we're now connected. Thank you very much for joining with us. Much love to everyone, and have a good weekend. Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
it.
having me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Oscar.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.